If you want more money to come into your life, there's actually 3 signs that you're closer than you think and that the money is closer than you think. So my name's Jake with jakeducey.com. Let's dive right into this video. The first sign is you never take your standard of living down to meet your income. You never, ever do that. Or you stop doing that. You stop lowering your standard of living to match your limited income. So let me explain that. Now, if you never heard that one before, that one truly changed my life. I learned it from my mentor, the late, the great Bob Proctor. Rest in peace. And I saw this firsthand. I was about early 20s, and I had been running and had started my own business. I thought all this money was going to come piling in. Well, it never had happened. And Bob said to not lower your standard of living to meet your income. Instead, what you have to do is raise your income to meet your standard of living. I had just decided I was going to move to the island of Maui with my then girlfriend, now my wife. Early 20s, I didn't have a lot of money. It's a very expensive housing market in Maui. Obviously, a lot of people want to live there. And it's just a little island, right? So there's not a lot of competition and there's not a lot on the market. So houses to rent were a lot more expensive than I was used to, than I was comfortable and willing to pay. And I was in this position where there was 2 final houses that my wife and I could have gotten. And one of them was absolutely insane. It was made out of this beautiful Hawaiian natural wood, and it was all sliding glass doors perched up on a hill with totally unobstructed views of the ocean. You could see the island of Molokai. You could see the island of Lanai. It was insane. And it was small, so I was a little confused why it was so expensive. I mean, it was an insane view, though. On the other side, there was a cheaper spot that would have been more comfortable in terms of the pricing, but less comfortable or inspiring in terms of the house. It was not nearly even remotely in the same ballpark. And it was like a few $1,000s difference, and I didn't know what to do. And I was super scared about getting this insane, awesome house like I was imagining myself working on my videos and my business, always looking at the ocean. And there was this huge wraparound lanai deck that was all covered. You could see the ocean in every direction, outdoor shower. It was so cool. But the other house was more affordable. And I was only in my early 20s. I'd never rented a nice house before. So I called my buddy Sean Croxton and I'm like, dude, what should I do? And he said, remember what Bob says. He said, don't lower your standard of living to meet your income. Raise your income to meet your standard of living. Like, what are you teaching? You need to live that. So I'm like, oh crap. All right. I go ahead and I do it. And I decided to rent this house, and I was like kind of freaked out. But as soon as I got in there, my goodness, I felt rich. Like, I'm showering outside, looking at the ocean. I'm waking up. I don't even need to roll out of bed to see the ocean. All I need to do is open my eyes and just lift my head 15% to perch myself up, and I can see the ocean. During whale season, I could see the whales from my bed. Like, I was just on cloud 9. Well, that energy was clearly palpable because all of my videos started going viral. And I went from making a couple $1,000s a month. Like, I don't know exactly what I was making, maybe $2,000, $3,000, sometimes $4,000 in a month. max to making pretty much instantly $20,000, $30,000, and I finished that year making over $500,000 a year, and before I hadn't even made $100,000 in a year. So what did I do? Instead of lowering my standard of living to meet my income, I stepped into abundance and I raised my income to meet my standard of living. And one of the keys was like, I would just sit there, look at the ocean, studying and practicing listening to my success hypnosis. You can get my free financial success hypnosis. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's pinned to the comments in the description right there down below, to start to reprogram your subconscious mind for financial success. So you stop lowering your dreams to fit into your income, and instead you raise your income to make them fit in with your dreams. So it's free. About 1 million people from all over the world have used it. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's pinned to the comments and in the description. It's right there down below. Don't lower your standard of living to meet your income. Instead, raise your income to meet your standard of living. And you find out manifestation really works. The second sign that money's coming is you are unlearning. I said unlearning, right? Not learning. And Bob Proctor used to always say this quote in his seminars, and I'm going to read it word for word here. He said, the illiterate of the 21st century are not going to be those who cannot read nor write. They're going to be the people who cannot learn, unlearn, and then relearn. But most of the things that we think that we know, they actually either aren't helpful or they aren't true, especially with respect to money. And so he's saying the illiterate aren't going to be the people that just have a bunch of information and facts and figures. The illiterate are going to be the people that can't unlearn and then relearn. What we have is a paradigm that controls our entire financial reality. It's how much money you believe you can make, what you're good at, what you're not good at, what's possible for you, your views of the world, the future. That's all your paradigm. It's something you've learned from the environment around you. It feels like it's not something that we've learned. It's just absolute truth because we've had it for so long. But in fact, it's just something that we've learned that's been impressed upon us for a very long period of time. The key to make more money, and one of the top signs that you're about to have a huge financial breakthrough, is that you are unlearning. And that begins with questioning. Is it really true that you aren't smart enough? Is it really true that it's too hard to make more money? Is it really true, right? And you start going through these things that you believe about yourself and that you believe about money and you believe about what you're capable of. Is it really true that you're not good enough? And you start dissecting these things and you find out most of these things aren't true. And then you realize that it is your right to be rich. You realize you're good enough, you're smart enough. And the only thing that is stopping you from creating financial success in your life is your own beliefs that really aren't true. And when you start to unlearn them, you find out on the other side of unlearning, financial freedom is there. Because the financial freedom is just a mirror of your own self-perception, your own self-discovery, and your own new concept of yourself, which is determined by your own free will, as opposed to your concept of yourself being programmed into you by other people and the negative beliefs that you inherited from the world around you. And that's the whole thing with the subconscious mind and why it's so important. I always say brainwash yourself before the world brainwashes you. Like, you have to unlearn the brainwashing from the world, but then you relearn how to brainwash yourself for financial success. And when you're on that journey, that means you're about to have a big financial breakthrough. So you can get my free financial success hypnosis. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's pinned in the comments and in the description right there down below. And let's move on to number 3. The third sign that your bank account is going to start looking a lot different and a lot bigger and your pockets are going to be heavier is that you actually believe that you're worthy of money. I know for myself, I didn't believe that I was because I had learned false information, right? We go back to what is the illiterate of the 21st century. It's the people that cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Well, I had learned a lot of false information, namely that if you don't go to college, you're not going to be successful. And I had, I didn't have a college degree, so I thought that meant that I wasn't going to be successful. So that was one thing that I learned I had to unlearn. The second thing out of that was I thought that you had to be a certain age, like you're supposed to be older. Here I was writing books, doing all this stuff, and all the other people that were successful were double or triple my age. I'm in my early 20s at the time, so I thought that I was too young. Another thing, totally wrong. Well, what did those things teach me? Those things taught me that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't X, Y, and Z enough. At the core, I wasn't worthy of it, which is false. Now, there's an infinite amount of money in the world. Like, quite literally, they print so much of it. The problem is that they're actually devaluing it because they're printing so much of it. Who's they? That's an entirely different story. But what's the key here? The key is that you're worthy of it. Why would you not be worthy of it? The only thing that stops you from being worthy of it is the things that you've been taught to believe that aren't actually true. Now, would you have anything that you didn't feel worthy of? No, you wouldn't have the motivation for it. You would procrastinate. Like, people are like, Jake, why do I always procrastinate? Why can't I be more successful? And why do I have this self-sabotage issue? Well, at the core, it all goes back to you don't feel worthy of it. You don't feel worthy of success, and you don't feel worthy of money. And so what I encourage you to do is make a list of everything that you love about yourself. You literally on a piece of paper, write out everything that you love about yourself. And it's going to be hard for some people. It was so hard for me. I'm like, oh, okay, what do I write? And then make a list of every reason you are worthy of freedom. Not of money itself, because money is just a symbol. What does money give you in this realm? It gives you freedom. It gives you security. It gives you the ability to buy healthy organic food. It gives you the ability to get good insurance for your family. It gives you the ability to put your kids in a good school, have your family have nice cars at work that are safe, that live in a nice house and not worry about making every single payment, right? That's what it really gives you. And are you worthy of those things? Absolutely. You're a divine being. You're a spiritual being in a physical body. And at the end of the day, you're here in a body to learn who you really are. And who you really are is a divine being. You're made in the image of God. You're good enough. You're smart enough. Forget what they said. Forget what maybe it was your parents that told you weren't good enough. Maybe it was your old friend. Maybe it was the media. Maybe it was just these crappy beliefs in your head that have been going on for so long. You think they're you, but they're not you, because you aren't your thoughts. You aren't even your body. What are you? You're an immortal spiritual being in a physical body made in the image of God. You're good enough. You're smart enough. You're worthy of wealth. You're worthy of freedom. You're worthy of money. So I invite you to comment that down below. I'm worthy of money. Comment down below. I'm worthy of wealth. I'm worthy of freedom. I'm good enough. Your spiritual DNA is perfect. Comment that down below. Let me know where in the world you're coming from. Maybe give me a flag of what country you're coming from, or what city, state, if you're in the United States. I'm wishing you a beautiful day. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. And be sure to get my free financial success hypnosis to reprogram your subconscious mind to brainwash yourself for financial success before the world brainwashes you for financial mediocrity. So if you're having a beautiful day, I invite you to make sure you hit the subscribe and bell notification on this video, and I'll see you on the next one.